Исторический день для Бангладеш. Сегодня в республике запущен первый энергоблок новой АЭС, которую строит Россия.
И после символического нажатия кнопки в реактор начинают загружать так называемые тепловыделяющие сборки.
Сегодня великий день для Бангладеш.
Bangladesh's first ever nuclear power plant is closing in.
এর মধ্য দিয়ে আগস্টের প্রথম সপ্তাহে
will give Dhaka relief from an energy crisis.
সর্বোচ্চ নিরাপত্তা
পা রাখছে বাংলাদেশ
শুরুর পর
Power plant, nuclear plant,
আত্মনির্ভর স্থান
বিদ্যুৎ কেন্দ্রের
বিদ্যুৎ কেন্দ্রে
Some projects reshape a city, others transform a nation, but a select few change the course of the future. Thousands of lives, millions of decisions, years in the making.
Rowan World is a driving force. It's the kind of company that constantly pushes you to keep moving forward.
I had just one dream, to hear my father say he's proud of me.
A construction site turned into a world of its own.
For me, Rowan World is all about building a better future for my family. This company is the defining chapter of my life.
Where some see the impossible, others just get it done.
We are building the future here. We are bringing power and light to this beautiful land.
Looking past all the problems, I can honestly say I'm one of the happiest men alive.
What does a decade-long journey actually look like when the dust settles on thousands of shifts, millions of decisions, and hundreds of structures? What remains? The story of Rowan World belongs to the people who arrived where there was absolutely nothing. Nobody on the team could have guessed that this first deployment would stretch into a 10-year journey. Ahead of them lay an unfamiliar climate, a punishing environment, and a completely foreign culture. They were stepping into a project that would rewrite the very history of a nation.
The second we stepped out of the airport, I took one look around and said, "That's it, we're catching the next flight back." No kidding, that was my exact reaction. There were just 4 of us, totally wiped out after a 9-hour flight. The guys practically begged me, "Look, let's at least get some sleep and figure it out tomorrow." Come morning, a car was already waiting. But when we got to the main checkpoint, things got incredibly chaotic. We were greeted with all this shouting, but the military guys finally let us through. So there we were, sitting in the branch director's office, when suddenly the head of security from Atom Stroy Export storms in, completely losing his mind. He starts kicking off, shouting that we'd breached the perimeter. It was pure madness. Once things settled down and they realized we hadn't broken any rules, we left. But after sitting down with Mr. Vlasov, my mind was made up. There was no backing down. We took off, but a couple of months later, we were back with our very first crew.
Looking at the site now, it's hard to believe it was once a complete blank slate. No infrastructure, no production facilities, just endless sand, heavy machinery, and a mountain of challenges. But this is precisely where the grandest engineering stories begin.
I still remember how overwhelming it was at first. I had absolutely no idea what I was getting into, or what I was even supposed to do there. But I caught on pretty quickly. It took me about 2 months to get the lay of the land and map out our goals. That was my first real stretch in Bangladesh.
He was completely new to the industry back when he first started. I was actually the one who brought him in. I hired him on the spot and put him straight into procurement.
I actually started my journey as head of procurement. Not even here. We began in Turkey. I came to Bangladesh on what was supposed to be a brief run, just a scouting mission to analyze the local market and assess opportunities.
It's funny to think about now. I distinctly told him from our Turkish office, "You need to fly out there for 2 weeks." And look at him now. 9 years later,
In 2019, I took over the branch. It was a total shock to the system for a young guy who had never managed anyone before, suddenly commanding a vast workforce, especially since I hadn't even turned 30 yet. It was an uphill struggle. I had to hold my own with much more seasoned managers. But the results speak for themselves. I've achieved goals I'm deeply proud of, and I'm incredibly grateful for my team, the people who stood by me from day one, and everyone who joined us along the way. I'm proud of every single one of them, and honestly, I'm proud of myself for walking this path.
It's a monumental achievement. You know, he's going to be better than me. In fact, looking at where we were at the same age, he already is. One of my greatest joys is knowing I helped shape someone who exceeded my wildest expectations. And we have many more like him.
Building a nuclear power plant goes for beyond technology. It is the ultimate test of character. To me, Rowan World is a company where any specialist can unlock their full potential and reach the absolute peak of their profession. Over the past 10 years, this company has truly become my second family. Rowan World is my whole life. I practically grew up in this company, and I'll be loyal to it to the very end. To me, it is everything. This isn't just a job for me, it's a team where everyone looks out for one another. We've built a remarkably tight bond here. In the end, they are my people. On large-scale projects, true expertise is forged only when you are surrounded by those who have already walked the path, surviving the mistakes and the immense pressure.
Working alongside Rowan right here on this site, that is where my experience comes from. 9 years together, and we have never hit a conflict where we couldn't find a way out. To me, Rowan is a leader who put his absolute trust in me, and I will never let him down.
The initial hurdle was stepping into this industry. The first time I visited a nuclear plant under construction, the office team couldn't explain a very basic concept to me until I saw it for myself. It was about embankment slopes, the kind you find anywhere, on every single road. Even today, it's still the same. I have to be physically on site, see things with my own eyes, and make the calls that clear the way so we can move forward.
Sometimes the most demanding lessons prove to be the most vital, especially when you are not just a manager and an employee, but a father and a son.
I was young and naive back then, with completely different plans for my life. You could say my father took me by the hand, brought me out here and threw me into the deep end, in a good way. It truly made a man out of me. He never treated anyone as strictly as he treated me on the job. Sometimes he would even tear down what I had built just to teach me a lesson. I fought back, of course, and that resistance is exactly what shaped who I am today.
He taught me so much. You could say he took my whole personality, broke it down, and rebuilt it from scratch. It was far from easy, but it provided the kind of engineering experience you simply cannot get anywhere else. He always showed by example that a way out exists for any crisis, as long as you refuse to give up.
Carrying on a great legacy means proving day after day that you deserve to be part of this history.
I believe you can only build something that stands the test of time across generations. Since my father dedicated most of his life to this cause, I felt a deep responsibility to rise to the occasion and exceed expectations. Beyond that, I had a single dream: to hear my father say he was proud of me. He told me exactly that once I took over the reins. Within 2 years, we delivered outstanding results. That was probably the greatest feeling I have ever known. No exaggeration.
A nuclear power plant stands as one of the most technologically complex facilities on Earth. Here, every decision must seamlessly integrate into a vast, interconnected network.
Our very first contract landed in Bangladesh. We faced a mountain of obstacles, yet we overcame them swiftly and with relative ease. It is an honor to say it out loud. We did an incredible job.
In 2019, Rowan World completed work on 41 separate facilities at Construction and Assembly Base No. 2. SMB2 marked the company's first major breakthrough on the Rooppur footprint. Back then, it was simply the essential logistics and support hub needed to get things moving. Today, it remains fully operational, a permanent reminder of how the company began its journey toward the station's most critical structures.
Nuclear plant construction is the most demanding sector in the entire global industry. These projects require years of absolute dedication.
This is a site where dozens of specialized disciplines run side by side. Thousands of people, a relentless, non-stop workflow. That is why bringing a nuclear plant to life takes years.
The first 2 or 3 years were a real grind. We started with structures that seemed straightforward, but logistics and local material shortages made things incredibly difficult.
As the plant grew, production capacities expanded to meet the demand. Rowan World deployed 2 dedicated batching plants, backed by an in-house accredited laboratory.
I felt a strong sense of purpose when we took on the pipe rack networks. It was only our 2nd or 3rd contract, but the sheer scale of it was incredible. I'd do a project like that again in a heartbeat.
One of the company's most extensive campaigns was the overhead pipe bridge system, linking dozens of individual facilities into a single technological complex. Over 5 kilometers of these engineered networks now span the Rooppur footprint. The project required over 12,000 tons of structural steel, manufactured across 7 factories in Dhaka under the strict supervision of Rowan World specialists. Engineers installed over 65 kilometers of process piping. This intricate network is now an integral part of the plant, linking core and auxiliary facilities with total reliability.
I would say our crowning achievement is Lot 1700. It's not a core nuclear island structure, it's auxiliary, but at the same time, it became the signature face of the entire station.
Expanding the station required administrative space to support thousands of personnel. The solution was Lot 1700, built right next to the first power unit. Where bare ground and excavation pits once stood, a modern office hub has risen. The complex features a 7-floor engineering block, an 8-floor administrative building, and a 4-floor canteen with an integrated conference hall. Inside, crews completed over 120,000 square meters of interior finishing. Outside, roofing and facade works are locked in for long-term durability. HVAC systems are fully operational. Crews laid over 10 kilometers of building services and ran 200 kilometers of cabling. Enclosed walkways link every building in the complex, allowing safe, comfortable movement in any weather. Today, Lot 1700 is fully prepared for final customer sign-off.
Take the sludge disposal facility, for instance. Sergey got it done in record time.
Commissioned 5 years ago, the sludge lagoon and its clarified water pumping station hold a vital place on site. The facility covers 65,000 square meters, using specialized containment cells and reservoirs to process water treatment waste. Construction required 160,000 cubic meters of sand, 20,000 cubic meters of concrete, and 120,000 square meters of waterproofing. Civil works wrapped up in 2021, securing a design service life of over 60 years. Operation demands absolute environmental safety. This is handled by the VLW complex, custom built for very low-level waste management. Evolving with the station's operational needs, this infrastructure secures all processing waste while anchoring the strict environmental standards of the Rooppur project.
We built the sludge lagoon and the anti-seepage curtains, wrapping up that specific phase 3 or even 4 months ahead of schedule.
A nuclear plant requires far more than just its core generating units. Critical support infrastructure, including the specialized vehicle garage and the open logistics yard, is already live and fully integrated into the daily workflow. Final work packages involved erecting a 32-ton electric gantry crane, installing 4 modular chilling units, and laying 42 tons of process piping. Rowan World continues to shape the site's transport networks. Crews paved nearly 230,000 square meters of roads around the first power unit, pouring 55,000 cubic meters of concrete. Alongside the roads, landscaping teams transformed another 209,000 square meters into pedestrian walkways and green spaces.
We belong at the very top of this industry. On every project, we've pioneered workflows that set the standard for everyone else to follow. That drive hasn't changed. At this point, there is simply no challenge on this site we haven't faced and mastered.
Behind the miles of industrial galleries, the thousands of tons of steel, and the sprawling construction site, you will always find a human footprint. Building a power plant means building a community. On site, the main canteen feeds thousands of workers daily, while a premium executive lounge hosts project management and official delegations. An in-house bakery supplies fresh goods across the project every single day. This infrastructure extends far beyond the construction gates. Within the Green City and Bangla Kutia residential communities, the company opened 3 retail hubs for daily essentials, complemented by a dedicated staff gym. As the site expands, facility management becomes just as vital as breaking new ground. Rowan World handles comprehensive maintenance across the entire Rooppur infrastructure, overseeing administrative hubs, warehouse networks, roads and residential sectors. Every day, a team of over 300 maintenance professionals keep the station pristine. Rowan World is a big part of my life. It's where I grew into a strong professional, shaped who I am, and found real happiness with my wife.
Our strength comes from the people, not the machines, the gear, or the offices. It's all about them. They are Rowan World, not me.
This is a part of my life. It means meeting new people, really good people. The team has become a family, and I'm not afraid to use that word.
I see us as a small state, our own little world that we live in.
Without a team, you are nothing. You can't win on your own. Teamwork is what gets results.
Бангладеш началась загрузка ядерного топлива на АЭС Руппур.
Пуск Руппура станет спасением и серьезным экономическим шагом.
ফুয়েল লোডিং এর পর নানা ধরনের
ফুয়েল লোডিং এর কাজ শুরু হচ্ছে মঙ্গলবার। রূপপুরের প্রথম ইউনিটে বিদ্যুৎ কেন্দ্রের জ্বালানি লোডিং।
First power plant.
I'm incredibly proud to have been here since day one. Now we've reached the physical startup, the exact point so many people have spent years working toward.
Personally, it will only sink in when local children start doing their homework under this electricity. I still remember my own childhood after the Soviet Union collapsed, doing homework by a kerosene lamp. To see them study and cook under proper lighting, getting all the benefits of the power we built here with our own hands.
We are building a future for other families and children, helping power a territory with so much potential.
Rowan World is a platform to set the direction for a whole continent.
I remember back in 2016, the power situation here was incredibly demanding. Honestly, it still is. The local grid is facing a severe energy deficit, and these two reactors will only cover about 17% of what they need. So, we're just waiting for the grid connection, and then it's off to the next destination. We'll definitely miss this place.
It's been a hard graft, an incredible team effort, and an invaluable experience. Would I do it all over again? I don't think I'll have much choice. I'll be doing this plenty more times yet.
Looking past all the problems, I can honestly say I'm one of the happiest men alive. We've all pulled our weight and done something to be proud of. Everyone here has earned that right.
One major project draws to a close, but for a team used to pulling off the impossible, a lull never lasts long. Their next destination? Egypt. The Egypt branch launched in 2021. Within just a few years, it grew from a small division into a multifaceted operation, tackling core work scopes at the Dabaa Nuclear Power Plant. Today, Rowan World teams work alongside the industry-leading names, handling civil works, construction surveying, material supply, logistics and site catering. Construction surveying quickly became the backbone of the branch. Since 2023, crews have been on the ground at Units 1 and 2, as well as the surrounding infrastructure. Rowan World surveyors ensure that engineering designs are executed to the exact millimeter, right at the heart of the reactor buildings. Today, this specialized team stands 22 strong. For me, Rowan World is all about the people. It's a team of professionals who can get any job done. It's a challenge, but it's also a rare opportunity to really prove what you're made of, both personally and professionally. Every industrial build is built on looking after its workforce. Rowan World established a round-the-clock catering operation to keep the site fed. To me, Rowan World means people who are driven, responsible, and completely focused on the job. It's a second home, a second family, the kind of place where you can always turn to someone for help or advice, knowing they've got your back. A team of over 600 people serving more than 10,000 meals every single day. Specialists from Egypt and the CIS receive 3 meals a day, featuring authentic dishes from both national cuisines. The company also manages catering for project managers, client representatives, and official delegations. Every step, from sourcing and packaging to final delivery, is strictly monitored under the highest standards of food safety.
Rowan World has been my life for the past 10 years. It's about being part of something truly major. First in Bangladesh and now here in Egypt. I've poured my heart and soul into these projects.
The company's hospitality presence extends far beyond the main construction site. In the Medina residential village, Rowan World Bakery has been open for several years, baking fresh bread, pastries, pizza, and artisan desserts daily. It has become a favorite spot for the plant's personnel, renowned for its signature coffee and baked goods. Out on the construction grid, a branded food truck serves freshly made burgers, shawarma, and kebabs daily. It is now one of the most recognizable landmarks on site. Today, Rowan World is headquartered in Dubai, one of the world's premier global business hubs. Over the years, the company has delivered vital infrastructure across Bangladesh, Egypt, and Hungary, bringing together thousands of global experts to build assets designed to last for generations. New territories, new challenges, new projects. Leaving just one question: what comes next?
We carry on building. We reach for new heights. More than anything, you have to set the bar higher and actually hit it.
Rowan World has grander plans in mind than just nuclear energy. This will be the defining work of my life. I like to think it will give my father a reason to look down and be proud. It is my final act, the capstone, though I reckon it'll take another decade to see it through.
Large-scale builds do more than just change the scenery. They completely transform the people who make them happen. And as long as there is a need for new roads, power stations, and cities, there will always be those ready to turn up where there's absolutely nothing. Years later, they'll look back and see a whole new world standing where they once stood. And in every single corner of it, you'll find the hard work of the hands that built it.
I remember this lovely Georgian cartoon from when I was a kid. All the characters were forest creatures, and they were building a town to the sound of a song. Whenever they stopped singing, the whole build ground to a halt. But as soon as they started up again, the work kept moving. It was down to the song alone. I'd say if you've got a good song, you can build anything, whether it's a nuclear plant or anything else. It really does just take a proper song.